This is not good at all. I've been stopping talking to neighbors, looking and looking. Cannot find him.
We sold six goats on Wednesday. Big Bertha died.
All in the same day.
Yeah. Thankfully, his grandma was able to take her twin boys. We sold Buttercup and her 2 daughters.
Which were the blonde ones.
Went with a man. And then an older couple took Sheena's baby. Thursday, Alex went and loaded up Bucky, and he had a vet appointment to get his horns removed. We had seen probably 2 weeks ago that
he had a really bad infection on the back of his neck.
Yeah, it was a cut where his horn was growing like into his head. So his horns had to be removed, and the whole reason that we have come to the conclusion that we need to sell the goats from being over at the farm where they are now is because they keep getting worms, and I can't pronounce the other word really well.
They keep getting coccidiosis, and which is pretty bad, and it dehydrates them quite a bit. So it's hard to be over there back and forth and to be able to give the attention needed to each individual goat when it's 20 minutes one way. So it's a 40-minute drive, and then plus the time it takes to take care of the goats, and then also if you've done that twice a day, that's 80 minutes just in drive time.
Which they've been so sick you've been going twice a day.
Yeah, and then that costs a lot of money and fuel, and that's just, they're not being beneficial at this point. We're not using them for milk, and we're not using them for meat. Really, we were just using them for breeding purposes.
But we are keeping 3.
Yeah, we'll be keeping 3.
The boar goats that we got last, we're going to be keeping those.
And they're all, I think, part of family. 2 are twin sisters, and 1 is a half sister or something.
Molly is?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try to put up a fence for them here,
and Bucky, like she already said, he's spoken for, but he'll be leaving. That's what we wanted. We were originally going to get rid of all of the goats, and then we had the idea that we could keep 3, and somebody that we know wanted Bucky for breeding purposes on his farm.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be going there next week.
The vet told you with Bucky's surgery he needed to have shelter if it rained.
Yeah, to keep his sinuses run to his horns, which I don't know if all of you know, but I didn't really know that. The sinuses run to their horns, and it's just an open cavity all the way to their nose. So they said he could get infection that way, he could drown that way, mm-hmm. And then also the wound on the back of his head was very infected, so we've been putting medicine on that every day. And this morning was kind of eventful, to say the least.
Very eventful.
Bucky was gone.
Our idea was to have him staked, which it's not ideal for all goats to be staked, especially Nubians because they're such a large goat. But he had diarrhea so bad when he came, and if we would have put him...
We didn't want him confined. We wanted to move him around.
Right, so he could be always in clean grass and not stepping in his diarrhea. I looked out and I was like, is he in his little shed?
I'll go out and look to see if he's there. Yeah. And I thought he was in his house. And so I went over there to look, and he's gone. And there's bear tracks everywhere. And so that was the beginning of it. Searching around the little building that you see behind us.
Which the night before, so it would have been Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My bird feeder got knocked over, which I know everyone says don't have a bird feeder if you have bears, but I've been trying to put it really high so that way he can't reach it. But he had found it that night. So he hadn't messed with him that night, but he messed with my bird feeder. So I moved the bird feeder and he couldn't reach it last night. So I guess he was just bored and wanted to pester someone.
Well, we had bear problems last year, and I don't know, probably 10 videos ago, maybe 15 videos ago, we were talking about how a bear got our chickens last year, and it flipped over the coop that we're using now
For Felix.
for the rabbit. And I got mad at Miranda because I was like, why are you stepping in the garden up in the flowers? And because I was far away from it and I couldn't see, so I walked up there and it looked like feet print, and then I got closer and it was bear paws, about 4.5 inches, maybe 5 inches, and all stomped down through the sunflowers. And I thought it was Miranda walking out barefooted in there.
Yeah.
Mama bear. I came back into the house when Miranda was cooking. She probably knew something was up, and I told her that Bucky the goat was gone. And so I got in the car and started driving around looking for him, just thinking that he would be on the road maybe.
Well, I knew that he wasn't out there as soon as you walked over there, because when he hears someone, he would always like walk over, and there was no one.
So after I got back from driving, which, you know, I thought would be the path of least resistance to be out on the road, I took a hike and told the neighbors what I was doing and went through all of this back here.
Our neighbors we've lost pigs.
Yeah, pigs. The pig was gone for 3 weeks and came back bigger than the others. So that was
yeah, we weren't doing YouTube. We didn't have the channel yet, but
yeah. So and we still have 2 of those.
We
pigs.
had brothers. Those are our cost share pigs.
And by the way, one of those pigs will probably be processed by the end of 2 weeks from now or something.
Yeah.
I walked this trail that a church camp close to us has, and I walked all through there looking. Fell in the creek, and that's when my boots are wet. I fell in the creek. I slipped off a mossy rock, and I haven't even ever went back there that far before.
Did it have to be mossy though?
Yeah, it was mossy. Had moss all over it.
Baby.
And I didn't know there was like little waterfalls back there.
Oh wow! So you found some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, there was like little waterfalls. There was all different types of trails coming back from that church camp, and big rock face cliff. And I mean, there was all kinds of stuff that I figured out about the water slide, the pool, and that's like in our backyard, literally right over that hill. But I told Miranda, I said, I got 6,000 steps in, and just walking over top of the hill. And I was looking, and I would stop and listen for him, and didn't hear him or see him. And at this point, he's still lost. And I thought a bear really had got him, because his chain was gone away from the little house that he's at. And he took the chain and the collar and everything with him. Well,
and we didn't want him to get off or to be able to drag the stake out. So you had put it pretty far down into the ground. And it was pretty loose.
Yeah.
So we knew he had been pulling on it, like in distress, a lot before he got off of it somehow.
Yeah. And then, so from that point, I came back out, and I honestly, at one point, I didn't really know where I was at, because I had to look around and find the creek. And then, so I looked around, found the creek.
So it was almost a lost man and a lost goat.
Yeah. And so I found the creek, and then I followed it back, and then that's when I came out at the church camp. And I started looking around at the church camp underneath of, they have like breezeways underneath of those places, I guess, to keep it cool. Then there's like the canteen area, the kitchen area, the pool area, and I was looking all around, all the cracks, and then there was some culverts and stuff I was looking in. So I came back, I walked all the way back down the road, and down the road it means up the hill both ways, literally.
Yeah.
It's up the hill both ways. And came back to tell Miranda. I didn't find him. And at this point, it's super hot, and it's been hours now.
Yeah, we were just kind of at like a standstill, because
I didn't find any blood. I didn't find anything.
And I had walked around the yard hollering his name and just kind of listening to hear, like, if I can hear like anything being moved, because we knew he still had the chain, because we didn't see the chain anywhere.
Yeah.
Which I know he might could last, like a day or two, but.
And then me and Keslin got in the car and went down a private road that's on the other side of the property, looking for him back and forth. And Keslin was yelling for him, Bucky. Me and Keslin came back down here just to take care of some of the things that we needed to do, to take a break and like wait for the sun to go over the hill. But at that point, Keslin and I were outside and to move the rabbit pen and give him water and stuff, and I thought I seen blood in there. Maybe I was overreacting, but it looked like blood, and the bear has been around.
No, I think because it was in the back of his pen, it was shaded, so it looked just like blood.
Yeah.
But I think it ended up being
A couple carrots or something in water.
maybe like clay. He's been real bad about digging lately, and it looked like maybe just dirt, and then he spilled water, and it looked like blood, but I think it was just clay. Because he was fine then. He didn't have any injuries or anything. So this week I had put on Instagram about adding something to our homestead. And I've wanted these ever since probably 7 years ago. And we've been talking lately with a man that we knew that had a swarm. And we were really excited because we thought maybe we were going to get some. And then now with the bear, and then with what we would need, the upfront cost is just a little bit more than what we want to do right now.
Like right now, our fence is broke around the garden because
he keeps trying to bust it.
The bear popped it, and last year, the entire fence was like wrapped around itself in a big knot because I guess the bear got into it, and there's more than one that we're talking about. There's quite a few around. A couple neighbors down got attacked by a black bear last fall, and he was hunting.
We have just a lot of black bear in this area.
So the bees are going to take a lot more work to try to secure something, and especially being, probably around $500 to get started. That's very expensive if you're going to lose it in one night. You want less of a reason for that bear or the bears to come around, the bear family.
I had called Mom and told her about what happened with Bucky.
This is after the fact of
searching from the first time. Yeah,
searching all morning.
She got here at a little before noon with my sister. Was just like, well, let's go look.
We went the opposite direction, which is in front of our house, and started walking up through that way. And just as we were about to quit, so we're looking, and I'm like, we should just be done. And I said, I don't know where he's at. If he shows up, and shot straight down the hill. And then I could see something moving. I looked and got a little closer, and it was Bucky. And yeah, I was so excited that Bucky was there. And because he was wrapped up in wild rose bushes, he must have been stress eating because he ate everything around him. And he was tied up to that thing, or maybe he was just trying to eat it away or something. He's so excited. He's wagging his tail. Look at him. All right, Bucky, you're going to your new home this week. You won't be here anymore. There's no bear over there. Let's go. You're not limping. You excited? You look a little messed up there. I was scared for his surgery. He needs some medicine. You having medicine withdrawals. Let's go knock on the door with him up front. You are the true bush monkey. All right. Come on, Bucky. You guys see him?
Nope. Oh, yeah, we found him. He was over there. Well, Alex found him. I didn't find him.
Yay! There he is. Oh.
He was hung up.
Look, Keslin. Bucky's back.
You're going to want to stay tuned, though, for Bucky and where he ends up, because maybe you'll see him on another channel.